Hi everyone and welcome to Augmintech. In today's video, we are going to talk about principles of interior design. Let me tell you, these are not just the principles for interior design. These apply to all sorts of designs. You can work on it through graphic design or UI UX design. But the ones that I'm going to talk about today are specific to interior design. So number one is your balance. Now, balance is a principle which you have to use to create a very soothing space, a space that you want to be well balanced, you want it to be visually appealing. So, what is the definition of it is balance refers to the even distribution of visual weight in a space to create a sense of equilibrium. Now, what is a visual space? When you look at somewhere, you do not want, a space to look heavier, like one side of the room to be very heavy and the other side to be light. How is that supposed to happen? If you crowd one part of a room with a lot of furniture and the other part is left empty, that is going to create a sort of an imbalance. To create a balanced space, there are three ways that you can do it. Number one is creating a symmetrical balance, which means that you work with symmetry. Like in the top right corner, we have an image where you can see a symmetrical shape which is going through and through. It's creating a very nice balance. It is a very nice visual story. If you look at a space like this, it's visually appealing. So it's only because we have added balance through the shapes that we are using. Secondly, you can go for asymmetrical balance, which is the second image that you see. Here we have some boxy, tones. We have some boxy elements, but we also have arches. But both of them are equally balanced. We have kind of created a set of them in such a way that both of them do not overpower each other. Now the third type is called radial balance. Now this is something which kind of depends, like both the images show radial balance. So radial balance is when we see a circle and we see that all the things are coming around it. So there's one starting point and everything else is around that, like you can see in the arch picture. So these are the three kinds of balance that you can use to achieve a sense of equilibrium in the space, a sense of visual peace, you can say. So that's number one. Second type of your design principle is harmony. Now, harmony, as we know, harmony means to achieve something which is cohesive blending of materials to create a unified and pleasing design. Here I'm not talking about the shapes, I am talking about more in terms of material. So for example, if you're trying to create a harmonious space, you would want to go for a color palette which is similar to each other, like all the colors should match each other. So if we have a set of browns, that would be a harmonious color palette. If we have a set of blues, that would be a harmonious color palette. So achieving harmony. How you can achieve harmony is using complementary colors, materials and styles to create a sense of unity. Repetition of patterns, textures and shapes can also enhance harmony. If you just look at the picture on the screen, here you can see that there's a lot of use of jute, there's use of wood, there's use of bamboo, there's use of stone, but all of these elements have a very similar tonality. The material aesthetic is almost the same. So that's what you want when you are creating a harmonious space. This is the second part. Now, the third design principle is called rhythm. Rhythm is when you look at a space and you feel like everything is flowing. Everything just follows each other's cue. So the materials that you are using might be repetitive. There might be like a very nice flooring material. There must be something which is getting repeated like a pattern. So rhythm involves creating a sense of movement and flow within the space through the repetition and alteration of design materials. So if you look at the picture on the right side of the screen, you can see that there is a sense of fluidity. You can see like a curved wall, but the material also enhances that. It's also creating a look of something moving. So that's when you can spot rhythm and use rhythm. Now, how you can use rhythm is either you can use repetition, you can repeat elements such as colors, shapes, patterns to create like a cohesive look. Either you can do alteration, which means that there can be one material, then the other, then again. So A, B, A, B, A, B. So you can create like an alternation of materials to create that kind of interest and variation. Progression, which means gradually increasing or decreasing the size or intensity of materials to guide the eye through the space. So maybe you're starting off with a very bright red and you're moving towards a very pastel red. So you're creating like a gradient and you are moving the eye from one side to the other. That's when you are adding rhythm to the space. So this is also a design principle which can help you create a better space. Now, the fourth design principle is called proportion. Proportion refers to the relationship between the sizes of different elements within a space. Now, when we are designing a space, it is very important for us to understand proportion, which means like we know that human beings are going to reside in this space. How is human being going to react to the complete space? How are the different elements going to be proportionate to the space? So if you are using a, like let's say a very small sofa in a space with very high ceiling and a very large volume, that would not make sense, right? So it's very important for us to balance it out and to achieve proportion in such a way that the furniture does not look out of place. Ensure that the furniture, decor, architectural elements are appropriately scaled to the size of the room and to each other. Proper proportion creates a sense of balance and harmony. Now, proportion is also one of the design principles, but it is also helping you achieve balance and harmony. If you create proportionate spaces, in a way, you're already creating a balance and sense of harmony. Last but not the least, the fifth principle that we're going to talk about is scale. Now, scale is my favorite one. We need to understand that human beings are going to reside in this space and they are going to utilize this space. So we have to understand how are they going to react to the space, how are they going to feel in that space. So scale refers to the size of objects in relation to the space and to each other. It's very similar to proportion, but here we are talking more about people and their being in the space. So how can you achieve scale is select furniture and decor that are appropriately sized for the rooms. Avoid overcrowding a small space with oversized pieces or using too many small items in a large space. It's very important that we understand this human being is going to utilize this space. How are they using it? Is it appropriately scaled? So even the furniture pieces you're using, even the shelves that you're using, is the scale appropriate for the person? So if you look at the image on the right here, now there's a huge bookshelf, but you see the scale of it might be high, but we have catered to the fact that human beings can't reach that high. So we have added this sense of stairs so people can walk up and they can utilize the space. So this is how you can actually use scale to enhance the designs or to create something new while taking care of ergonomics and while taking care of the human body scale. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe for more such videos.